I went viral about 2 years ago for sleeping with 300 guys in a year. This is my third year of doing it, and I just felt like this year people didn't really care. I also sort of wanted to give back to the people that have gotten me to where I am, which is my subscribers. That's sort of why I put this challenge out there and said, you look, this is the date, this is the time. If you want to come, come.
Did you give them a certain amount of time? Did everybody get 60 seconds?
No, I ran into a problem that my fluffer, do you know what a fluffer is?
No, but I'm so excited for you to tell me. How much do you think you made doing this whole fiasco? Did you ever get off?
So they were throwing me around the room, putting me in different positions. When my timer said next, I let them stay for a little bit longer. 154.
So how many times do you think you came in the 6 hours?
I would say...
Annie, thank you so much for joining me today on Misunderstood.
Thanks so much for having me on.
It's so fun that you're waking up to us in Australia and I'm in Palm Beach. I'm sitting here having a glass of wine. You've basically not rolled out of bed because you look beautiful. And I know you've already done another podcast, but it's just so interesting that we could do this on two separate parts of the world. I think it's really fun.
I know. I'm having my tea. I wish it was a wine though.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, obviously you've become super famous in the last couple of weeks, I guess. Before you were in the news for this, would you say you were well known in OnlyFans, in the world, in your hometown? How do people know of you?
Yeah, I would say I'm a household name in Australia specifically. But I haven't so much like been able to get into like the US market, I say. This has sort of been the thing. Like I've appeared in a few news articles and I'm sort of known in the OnlyFans industry, but since this challenge, I feel like it's really just skyrocketed me to that next level of, people knowing who I am.
Is that why you did that? I'm curious. Were you sitting around in like one of your meetings with the people that work with you and be like, how do we elevate this to the next level? And what kind of challenge should we do to set ourselves apart?
I think I've always understood that with OnlyFans, the number one thing is like marketing and especially media. I went viral about 2 years ago for sleeping with 300 guys in a year. And the numbers that I saw after that challenge went viral worldwide was insane. Right. And so since then, I've been putting these challenges out. I call them more marathon challenges. So it's more like how many guys in a year can I do? And then this is my third year of doing it. And I just felt like this year people didn't really care. They're like, you've already done this before. We want to see something else. And I also sort of wanted to give back to the people that have gotten me to where I am, which is my subscribers. And I wanted to give them the opportunity to, I guess, have their turn with me. So that's sort of why I put this challenge out there and said, you look, this is the date, this is the time. If you want to come, come. And 583 guys turned up.
So only your subscribers could sign up and only your subscribers can watch the footage of what happens?
No, so anyone could sign up. I just had a link that, you could register through. Okay. Only my subscribers can watch the content.
Okay, fascinating. All right, I want to put that conversation aside for 2 seconds because I'm fascinated by you. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. And do you come from a big family? Tell me about your life.
I come from a pretty small family, actually. I've got an older brother, a younger sister. My parents are divorced. A pretty normal family, to be honest.
Okay. And what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was little, I wanted to be a doctor. So when I left school, I did a degree in medicine for a couple of years. And then I was like, this is not for me. And then I went into marketing and eventually OnlyFans.
Okay. So I know I read somewhere that you had like a $60,000 a year job. Was that the marketing job?
Yeah, that was.
And what kind of marketing did you do?
So I did shopping center marketing. So just like doing the marketing for the retailers that were at the shopping center. It was pretty boring, to be honest with you.
Right. And then, so how did you find out about OnlyFans and all of a sudden want to get into it?
So it was 2020, COVID, obviously, and I was on TikTok and I started seeing all these girls talking about this platform called OnlyFans and that they were making like $40,000 a month. And I was like, that's crazy money. But I sort of was like, I might like dip my toe in it, see if I can make like a couple of grand a month extra so that I can buy a house one day. So I kind of did it just thinking it was going to be a side hustle, very low key. It wasn't going to be my future career.
Mhm.
And then I did that for about 2 years. And as time went on, I was like, God, this is really fun. Like, I'm enjoying this. I wish I had more time to do this more often, but I had a job, so I couldn't really. And then I got fired because my work found out about the OnlyFans. And
How?
I kind of I don't know. I'm like, either someone sent it to them or they went like deep diving, which I don't know why they would have done that out of
Or
nowhere.
your manager was on it and like didn't want to admit it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I took it as a blessing. Like, I was really relieved when I got fired, and I just was like, right, I'm going to do it full time then. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do, or since recently, and I'm going to do it.
So, and I'm so curious, when you started your first day of OnlyFans, were you like full vag everything out, or were you like, let me be sexy about like how'd you do it?
Okay, so I went in being like, oh, I'm just going to sell like bikini pics, which is what
Okay.
everyone thinks when they first start. They're like, yeah, I can make $1 million from bikini pictures. Not realistic. So when I wasn't making money from that, I was like, right, okay. And I was getting requests from people being like, oh, can I see a nude? So then I would start selling nude photos. Then it progressed to nude videos. And then it sort of progressed to like solo masturbation. And then I sort of stayed in that realm for like 2 or 3 years before I really got into doing collaborations with other people.
Okay, wait. This is fascinating to me because listen, we've all dated that guy that's like, send me the nude photo or send me a photo of you pleasuring yourself. And I don't know about you, but if you ever sort of weren't into it, you're like, this guy sucks. I'm not even doing this. I'd rather be watching Dateline or something, right? So it's
Yeah,
kind of like, I guess there's an incentive because you're getting paid. But was there ever a point where you're like, oh my God, this is stressing me out that I have to do this for money? Or were you like, this is fucking amazing?
I think at the very beginning, it wasn't so much like it was stressing me out because I didn't want to do it. I really like wasn't happy with my body or the way I looked. I was very insecure. So it was really hard for me to get in front of a camera and like get naked and feel confident doing that. Which I actually think OnlyFans has really made me feel more confident about my body and in myself. Because over the years, the more I did it, the more I was like, wait, I actually look really good, or I actually feel really good. It made me feel good, and I really started to enjoy it.
Right. Okay. Now let's go to the part where you decide you want to have sex with people because that's kind of a leap. Sending naked photos to people or
Mhm.
whatever. When you're doing it all by yourself, now you have to interact with complete strangers.
Mhm.
How did you make that leap?
So the leap happened when I got fired, and I was like, right, I need to take this seriously. Like, so far, I've made okay money doing the solo stuff, but I know the money lies in doing collaborations with other people. And at that point, like, I was still sort of struggling with my relationship with sex because I've had a few, like, I don't want to say bad experiences, but like they weren't the best. And so it
You
kind of
mean,
did.
sorry, time out. You mean boyfriends in general, or you mean you hadn't had the greatest time having sex?
Yeah, I guess a little bit of both. Like,
Okay.
I always had this idea that sex was for men and for their pleasure. And so it was always very selfish, and like I never really felt fulfilled, or I didn't really feel good doing it. And often would feel bad afterwards or guilty or something. So then when I was like, oh, okay, I need to film it for work, I was very nervous because I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm really into it at
Right.
that point. And
What was
then
so was it more like doing a porn though, where you're like choreographing it?
No, my content has always been pretty real and raw, and my
Okay.
thing has always been that I've like filmed with just regular guys. I do porn collabs like with actual creators as well that are more polished, and I have a videographer and stuff. But for the most part, I do like just normal amateur style
Okay.
videos. And so I actually went on a dating app and I started talking to guys. And because I'd had a few like media articles in Australia at the time, guys recognized me. And so often they would just ask me straight out, like, hey, do you want to film a tape together? Which was obviously very easy for me. And
Yeah.
so I found a guy that I was attracted to and I thought would be good. And we shot a film together. I was so nervous. And I had the best time. He was so lovely, so respectful. The tape came out really good. And I ended up filming with him like multiple times over sort of 6 months. Um, and then eventually kind of got to the point where I was like, right, now the subscribers have seen this content with this guy. They kind of want to see more. They always want more. You give them what they ask for and then they want more.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you filmed with him for 6 months. So did you end up having a relationship with him or you were like, hey, on Wednesday, let's get together so we can do this shot?
Yeah, it was pretty much just like we were friends, but like it
Yeah.
was like, hey, want to come film a scene? Like my sub's asking for this, and then he'd come. And initially he'd just do it for fun, and then we kind of agreed that it was only fair that I paid him like a small fee for
Oh,
his time and whatnot.
so interesting. Okay. And were you still on the dating apps to date at this point?
Yeah, I was. At that point, I was like so desperate to find a boyfriend. I thought it was like the most important thing in the world. So I was like low key doing this on the side and then also trying to find a boyfriend at the same time.
And how did you think you were going to explain what you did for a living to the boyfriend?
And I'm not a judgmental person, and I wouldn't want to be with anyone that was judgmental towards sex workers or anything like that, or aren't confident enough to like, or secure enough in themselves to, I guess, let me do my job.
Sure.
So I was just kind of like, well, the right guy will come along eventually. It might be harder for me, but it will happen.
Right. Okay. So now let's get to the 583 thing. You were like, okay, I'm going to do this challenge. You put out the link. How many people did you expect? How long did it take people to sign up? Like, give me the whole details.
So I put out a link. It was basically a registration form. It said, name, age, location. Are you willing to travel if you do live in a different location? That kind of thing. Pretty bland. Like, honestly, didn't ask for a whole lot of details. And then they registered. And once it got to like 2 days before the actual event, I sent out an email to groups of 6. So each group got given a time slot. There were 2,000 registrations in total. So I didn't really know what to expect because I've done like this type of thing on a way, way, way smaller scale. And the cancellations are just, some guys, it'll be like 20% show up and then other times 100% show up. So I really didn't know what to expect.
Oh,
I was
wow.
hoping the minimum would be 200 and at like the maximum would be about 1,000. So I guess when 583 showed up, I was pleasantly surprised because I was like, oh, that's more than I was, hoping for.
Pleasantly surprised. I would have fainted. Okay. If you're like me, you've probably tried every gut health product there is out there: probiotics, fiber, detox teas, and nothing's really worked. That's when I found Happy Mammoth, and it was a total game changer. Happy Mammoth focuses on the root causes, like balancing your gut and hormones, not just masking symptoms. Their natural formulas help reduce bloating, boost metabolism, improve digestion, and support healthy hormones. And they're specifically designed for women. What I love is they're gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and backed by thousands of 5-star reviews from women who are finally feeling like themselves again. If you've been struggling with gut issues, mood swings, or stubborn weight, I highly recommend checking them out. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code UNDERSTOOD at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code UNDERSTOOD for 15% off today. So, how do you prepare for something? Oh, wait, go back. You didn't make them show pictures or show an STD card or like, you didn't care about anything.
No, I mean, obviously, being like STDs and stuff, that was a worry. I made the guys wear condoms every time I was, having intercourse with them or giving them head or anything like that.
Wait, and as a sidebar, don't you think you should have been sponsored by like a condom company? Can you do that next time?
Yeah, the funny thing is I probably could have reached out to one of them. I actually got custom condoms made that had my face on them.
Wow. Okay. That's a whole nother conversation, how you do branding for condoms. Okay. So, all right. So you didn't really care about having an actual test. You didn't care about what you look like. I saw the guys all had masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that because you didn't want to see what they look like or what?
No, that's for their protection because I get a lot of hate online and I knew there was going to be a lot of social media clips and I just didn't want people coming for them and like hating on them or them like losing their job over something like this. So I just wanted them. Yeah.
And you probably didn't want to run into them in the supermarket and be like, oh, I saw you. I saw you. I saw you.
I don't mind. I've ran into a couple of them at the gym and stuff. That's fine. I don't mind.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, their girlfriend probably would mind.
Yeah.
If you were like, hey, nice to see you again. Okay, so now tell me how you prepare for something like this if you didn't know how many people were going to show up.
So I obviously, having received 2,000 applications, I assumed that it was going to be like a very large number. So I probably was over prepared just in case. So I ordered, like 1,000 condoms. I ordered a bunch of ski masks, wristbands. I had 12 staff members there with me on the day, booked out a venue that was big enough. It was actually Swingers Club. I had security. Like, it was a very well-oiled machine. I think, because I had been so organized, that's why it ran so smoothly. If I'd sort of just aimed for the 200, I think it would have been absolute chaos on the day.
Right.
So yeah, it was just my organization.
Okay, so this is smart. You said you had time slots, so it's not like 500 people were lining up around the block.
Yeah, because I've seen other people do similar things, and they said that like there were guys waiting for 12 hours. I'm like, well, that's a long time to be waiting. So I did it
Ew.
in hour blocks because,
Right.
and it's like, okay, well, say 100 guys rock up for the first hour. What's, an hour divided by 100 people? How much time do they get per person? Okay, well, that's what they're going to be getting per person. I had a timer there who was like timing everything. So he'd be like, yep, it's been 36 seconds, like next. And then you'd be on to the next guy so
Okay.
that no one ran sort of like overtime.
Right. Okay, so was the goal to see how many people you could get in 6 hours, or what was the original goal?
I guess it was just as many guys as possible. I obviously, the 6 hour thing, I thought 12 hours is a really long time to be having sex. I
Ugh.
thought 6 hours is doable if I give myself like little breaks, 5-10 minute breaks in between to clean up and refresh and whatever else. And so the 6 hours, I mean, yeah, if it had been like 1,000 guys, I probably would have had to extend it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it ended up being perfect. The 6 hours worked perfect for the amount of guys that showed up.
Okay, I did the math. I don't
Mhm.
understand it. 583 into 6 hours, they get about 90 seconds each. So when you say you're sleeping with, how does that mean they're in and out and they're done? Like, tell me what that means.
It means that they get their allocated time, whatever that is. Let's say it's 60 seconds. And whatever happens in that 60 seconds, that's it. So whether they finish or not, it's the next person. But
I
people
see.
are like, "Look, they only get 2 pumps." It's like, how slow are these people going? Like, no, it's way more than 2 pumps. And yeah, like some of the guys finish. So obviously
So
it was
did you
enough.
give them, can you tell me the details? Did you give them a certain amount of time? Did everybody get 60 seconds?
Everyone, it differed group to group. The groups that had more people, it was like 30 seconds,
I
and then
see.
the groups that had less people were lucky and got like 60.
Did you run into any problems? Did anybody start
So
an issue?
no, I ran into a problem that my fluffer. Do you know what a fluffer is?
No, but I'm so excited for you to tell me.
A fluffer is someone that is there to get the guys ready. So basically, get them hard, so that when they get to me, they're all ready to go. She didn't show up, and I was like, "Great, how am I going to do this?"
Oh my God.
Because yeah, so I was really nervous that I wasn't going to be able to get through all the guys. I was going to get like way more tired. And I will say it was a lot harder because I used my hands and my mouth a lot more than I was like expecting to. And so that was the thing that was the most tiring. And by the end, I was like really struggling with that.
Oh my God. I mean, I hope you never talk to this girl again. I mean, if you
No
have
way.
one job as a fluffer, you show up, right?
Right? Exactly.
She sucks. Okay. So, explain that to me because I think that men get stage fright more often than not, even when they're just with one partner. So if you're
Mhm.
telling me there's a group of a bunch of men together, do they get private time with you or they have to like perform in front of somebody?
Yeah, so that's the thing that I understand is quite intimidating is like they're in a room with about 20 other guys that all are naked. And then on top of that, they've got these huge bright lights shining down on them, a videographer, a photographer, and another guy, which was my assistant who was timing the guys. So there's a lot of people in the room and it's a
And
lot of pressure.
oh my God. All right. So how did they perform? Did anybody not perform and you stuck them in the corner to try and fluff
Yeah.
themselves up or what happened?
Yes, that's exactly right. So basically, how it worked is obviously the fluffer didn't show up. I had to use my mouth and my hands a lot more. So we'd get the 3 guys to come through, and I'd be doing all the work on them. The second one of them was ready to go, they would start. They would start having sex with me, and then they'd get their like 30 seconds or whatever. It's like, okay, the next guy that's ready, he goes in, and then someone else would come in to get a hand job, a blow job, whatever it was.
Right.
And then if I'd been giving a BJ for like 2 minutes and that guy wasn't hard, he got sent back to the back of the line and he can try getting himself hard and come back later.
Wow.
But once they had their 30 seconds with me or 60 seconds with me actually having sex with me, then they were out. They had to leave.
You may have traumatized a couple guys that got sent back to the line and couldn't get it. I mean, how are they going to get over that? That's
Because they came back. That was the best thing is like I gave them another chance. So there was one guy in particular, he was trying for 3 hours and I let him stay the whole time. I was like, take your time, do your thing. And he finally got there and everyone was like cheering him on. It was like the best moment ever.
Oh, I love this guy. I'd love to have him on the show. All right. Well, so
Yeah.
has this content come out yet?
It's coming. It's been dropping in increments. So I've been doing it in like 7 to 10 minute slots, kind of. So the first video has been released, which I'm obsessed with. It was a very good one. And then the next video is coming out, I think, in a couple of days because I can't sell like the full video on the platforms in one whole because they don't know how to verify the guys, which I understand, like they don't know who these people are in balaclavas. Whereas when there's less people in the video, it's easier for them to like verify their identity.
And how much do you think you made doing this whole fiasco?
Well, I was earning $200,000 a month before the challenge, and my earnings have tripled since doing the challenge. So, like, it's looking.
And you
like
make money because people are signing up to watch it. Essentially, is that what it is?
Yeah, people are subscribing. They're buying the video. They're then buying other content that I've sold on my page as well.
Wow. I mean, I'm just speechless here. All right. I heard that you were in the hospital after.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that wasn't necessarily because of that 6 hour experience. It sounded like you had been having health problems before.
Yeah. I've got endometriosis. And since January, I've been having some ongoing issues. And I was feeling really good the week of the challenge, the day of the challenge. I thought things were all good finally, which I was excited about. And then I did the challenge. And about 2 days later, I started experiencing like quite heavy bleeding and a lot of pain. And usually I would have been like, oh, this is just my endometriosis, or I wouldn't have thought twice about it. But because I'd done the challenge, I wanted to be safe. So I went to the hospital and the nurses and doctors all recognized me from the challenge. So immediately they were like, we need to check if there's been a rupture or if there's something serious going on. So they ran a bunch of tests and did a bunch of scans and everything was all good. So yeah, it looks like it was just my ongoing health problems.
Okay. And you're feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay for sure.
Because I think a lot of people try to like, make that seem like you were in the hospital because you didn't take care of yourself and this was a crazy scenario. But I mean, let's be honest, this was your choice. You were happy. Well, I don't want to speak for you. Were you happy doing this? How do you feel about the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't happy doing it. I think obviously a lot of people find that hard to understand, but on the day and like after the challenge, I felt really good. Like it was such a community vibe on the day. Everyone was just excited. The energy was really good. I was running on adrenaline. When the day finished, I felt amazing because all the guys were so lovely and so just grateful to have that experience.
And were there any stories where like guys ran into each other and it was horrifying because they knew each other, or someone was really, they didn't take care of themselves and the guys didn't want to be having sex after him? I don't know. Was there anything like that?
So yeah, very funny that you say that because there was two guys that were lining up and they weirdly got given the same time slot. And they were a couple people separated in the queue. And then one of them turned around and was like, mate, what are you doing here? And they realized that they were like actually really good friends and they just hadn't told the other one that they're coming to the event. And so they were like, well, let's go in together. This was actually the video that I've just released that like everyone has gone crazy for. And so they came in together. It was just the two of them and me. And then there was one guy in the corner watching. But yeah, it was so funny and they had the best time.
Oh my God. And did anyone want to use their 60 seconds just to like talk to you and be close to you?
A lot of them spoke to me whilst they were like thrusting into me. I had one guy as well, like he was like obviously into feet. So he was sucking my toes and he was like, I just flew in all the way from Melbourne. Thanks so much for the opportunity. So yeah, it was kind of funny. Or they were like, how's your day going? I'm like, yeah, really good. How's your day going?
Oh my God. What are the men, obviously not their name, but like, what are the things that stand out to you? Either the best moments, the worst moments, like something that's still in your head.
Yeah, just the ones that like they knew they only had 60 seconds and they were going to absolutely work it. And so they were throwing me around the room, putting me in different positions and just like it was wild. And then for some of those guys, I won't lie, when my timer said next, I let them stay for a little bit longer.
No way. All right, here's the big question. Did you ever get off?
Yeah, with those guys. That's why I made them stay. I was like, wait, hang on a sec. Let's just give me some time here.
No way. So how many times do you think you came in the 6 hours?
I would say 6 times. Yeah.
6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're engaged. How did you meet this guy?
Okay, so we've been best friends for 10 years. We met working at a pub when we were like 18. Became really good friends, have been best friends ever since. And then it would have been like the end of last year. We were just hanging out all the time. We spent Christmas together, all summer together, and we kind of were just like, are you feeling this? Like, is there something more here? And then we had a conversation about it, but we're like, okay, no, I've got my career that I'm focusing on, and you've got your goals you want to achieve. So let's just put it on the back burner. And then we went overseas together. I did Cancun spring break with Bonnie Blue, and Henry came with me. And then we went to LA for a little bit for a holiday. And whilst we were there, I don't know, we went out for dinner one night, and Henry basically was like, I want to be with you. Like, I don't want to be with anyone else. I don't want to wait anymore. I want to date you. So we started dating. And then a week later, we went out for dinner and he proposed to me. And
Wow.
yeah, now
How
we're
long have you
engaged.
been engaged then?
It's about 2 months now.
And do you know when you're getting married?
Yeah, it'll be October next year.
Of 2026?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think that you'll quit doing this when you get married?
I don't think so. I think like I love this career. I love this industry. I think I just want to be doing this for as long as possible.
Okay. And what about the haters? What about the people that are like, oh my God, and they take all your credibility away? They make it seem like you're not serious or you don't deserve to be treated like a wife or a woman. What do you say to all those people?
I don't really care, to be honest, with what they think. I think I'm happy. I know what my life is like. I know what my partner is like. They don't know me from a bar of soap. I can understand people being a little bit unsure about it and wanting to ask questions. I'm always fine with that. But if you're going to judge me, then, respectfully, you can fuck off.
Right.
I'm living
Right.
my life for me, not for you.
So, but what would be next after this? Like, what's your next? Sorry, and I mean on OnlyFans, because you said you're always thinking about what the next thing is. Like, what's the next good challenge? Are you going to try and go for 1,000, or is it going to be a different type of stunt?
I don't think so. I think the number thing has been done. I've just seen my friend announce today that she's doing 2,000 in a day. So going to let her do that. And I think I'm going to try and think of some different angles. I've kind of dabbled in the virgin angle, like taking people's virginities and stuff like that. So whether maybe, now I go the opposite end of the spectrum and start pleasuring older men. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet, but I'm having a hard think about it.
Well, okay, so let's go back to the 60 seconds or whatever it is that they get. Do you have maybe you have some advice to give for men that, need to perform under pressure? Maybe you should be doing videos about that to help them with their confidence, because it seems like, you would be good at fluffing them up, but also saying, listen, I'll be honest with you. I heard that, you had 6 hours to have sex with 583 men. I've always joked around and been like, guys, it's a complete wives' tale. Women do not want to have sex all night. If you go longer than 25, 30 minutes, I'm out. Like, I'm over it. I'm done. Like, let's move on here. So to hear that this is like a fun thing for you, I'd rather you give lessons to men about, let's make it sexy. Let's make it intimate. Let's make it nice. But I don't want to do this all night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. I think that what you said before is true, though. Confidence is key. You've just got to be confident. All the guys that came in confident, being like, yeah, I'm going to show this girl a good time, they're the ones that performed the best. Right.
And they probably didn't have the best bodies. It was all about just they knew who they were. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What is next for you after you're done with OnlyFans? Because I don't think you're going to be having sex with all these people your entire life. Let's be honest. So what do you want to still do?
I would love to still be in the industry in some way. I think it would be very cool to be a mentor to other girls and show them how to have the same success that I have had. I love the industry. I love the community, and I absolutely love helping people. So I think that would be a really good mix of everything. And it'd be really cool to just mentor someone and see them, succeed.
Do you think that a girl needs to have sex or do something over the top to make money on OnlyFans?
No, I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to marketing. So whatever that looks like, it depends on the person. I think there's absolutely ways to market yourself that don't require you to have sex with a ton of people. It's just about the angle you come from, and you have to have so much drive and like perseverance because it is oversaturated, the market, the industry. So you have to work a lot harder, and you have to have that work ethic. If you don't have it, you just won't succeed.
I'm curious how many subscribers you have.
So I have about 10,000 paid subscribers and 70,000 free subscribers.
And what's the benefit of a free subscriber?
So free subscribers, I don't talk to them, but they can get content for $10 more. So it's more expensive for them to buy the content. Whereas subscribers, that's a $5 monthly fee. They can chat to me, and they get the content sent to them for way cheaper.
Right. Okay. So I've as your older sister friend now, I'm saying that I think a great job for you to parlay this into is, because you have marketing background, you should be signing women up to work with you to learn how to market. Because everyone that I talk to is like, oh, I wish I could have an OnlyFans and quit this stupid ass job or leave this husband or whatever. Being financially free for a woman is like a big deal. You should offer your services to help them figure out what it is, whether they not want to cook naked, I don't know, but whatever works for them to market it. And maybe you push them out to your subscribers to help them. I don't know. Cause I'm imagining the people that follow you are mostly men, and women probably are intimidated by you, want to make all sorts of comments. But if you befriend the women by saying, I want to help you, that gives you a whole new group of people to subscribe to your stuff.
Definitely. I think I do have like 10% women followers, and a lot of them are in the industry, and they follow me because they look up to me. So I definitely think, that's definitely something I want to do. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah. Okay. Quick question, because everyone in America, I don't know about Australia, is talking about the Sean Diddy Combs, the Puffy trial. Is that something that you guys are following there?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just curious, as someone who's sexually active, involved in stuff like this, when you heard about these freak offs and the stuff that people were doing, I'm just curious your opinion on it. Do you believe that there is a consensual aspect to that? Or do you feel like people just did it to be involved with celebrities? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think what happened is very wrong. There's obviously a lot of people stepping forward that are like traumatized because it wasn't consensual and they didn't necessarily want to do it, or they were roped into it because he is such a big figure in the industry, or was. I think like the way I am, I mean, at least with, the stuff that I do, my number one thing is consent. At any point, anyone can withdraw consent. I'm always like making sure that people want to do this and that they're aware of the risk involved, or, the potential fallouts and stuff like that. So I think like from what I've heard, some of the stuff that went on is just insane, and I 100% don't agree with it.
Do you think that like peeing in someone's mouth and all that is something that is like super sexy and people want to see? I'm just curious if that's a thing.
It's certainly not something I'm into, but I know that it's a fetish that people do have.
Right.
I get asked about it a lot. You also get asked a lot about like period blood and poo and all kinds of things. So there's a fetish for pretty much everything. And some people are really into the whole urinating thing.
Right. Okay, so I so appreciate you being so open and honest about everything. I do wish you the best. I think you're fascinating, and it's very clear. And I guess, again, I don't want to bring it from my mouth, so I'll ask it to you in a question. But this is all consensual with you. You're happy to do this. You're not sexually traumatized as a child, which has made you turn into this person. Oh, how do your parents feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, my parents are very supportive. Obviously, early days, my mum was concerned about like stalkers and my safety more than anything, and my future. But that was 3 years ago now. And since then, she's seen me grow. She's seen me become this confident, happy person that I am today. And she's, not worried about me anymore. She supports it 100%. And my dad's very chill. I think initially he was sort of like, wait, what's this? He didn't even know what OnlyFans was. So I kind of had to explain it to him. Right. And he was like, well, as long as you're happy and you're earning good money and you're being smart with it, then you do you.
Yeah. I think so many people are like, oh my God, the stigma, she'll never get away from this. This is like the worst thing that can happen. Not about you, but anyone that like makes choices like this. And it's kind of like, I don't think you're going to apply for any librarian jobs soon. And, I mean, when you're old enough that you have children and you're putting them in school, I think more people will be fascinated, or like you'll have done a couple of things that, it's not going to be the Annie Knight, like adult OnlyFans creator. And by the way, if it is, you're living in the mansion on the corner and they're not. So I guess who gives a shit? So all the power to you as long as you're safe and good and happy. I'm excited for your wedding. I think that's awesome. Where can people get your OnlyFans?
So if you head to my Instagram, the link is in my bio.
Okay, perfect. And anything else coming up you want to promote, or that people can, do you have a website or something where people can find out more about you?
The best way to keep up to date with my future challenges and everything I'm doing is just to follow me on Instagram. I'll post stories and put up posts and stuff like that there.
Okay. And you do have a podcast, right?
Yes, I do, which I'm actually putting on pause for the moment just because things have gotten a little crazy and I'm juggling 101 different things and I'm traveling soon. So it's been put on pause, but it's called Annie Knight Unhinged.
Okay, good. So anyone that's listening, don't listen to that podcast. Listen to mine. It's Misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel, where I have Annie Knight. You could listen all about her on my podcast. All right. Well, next time you do something crazy, please call me and come on my show. We'll talk about it.
For sure, 100%.
And if you ever come to America, let me know. We'll go have a drink.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sounds fun.
Okay. Thanks, Annie. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to Misunderstood. I'm your host, Rachel Yucatel. Please be sure to subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star rating and review. You can support the show by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel. Do you have ideas for the show or want to reach out? Email us at info misunderstoodpodcast@gmail.com. That's spelled MISS understood. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.